Welcome back to action from round 5 of the Extreme Festival of Motorsport, and it's now time for the South African Touring Cars and Supacup. Time to get that Dunlop rubber onto the track and into qualifying, the all-important qualifying here. Getting onto the front row is vital in Touring Cars and Supacup. And a brand new sponsor joins us with Wix into the mix. Great to have them on board and joining all of the associate sponsors already involved with SKF and Dunlop tyres. As I said, qualifying is crucial, and these guys are pushing it to the limit. The girls too, with Cara out there in the Cadillac Super Cup car. Big improvement for her this weekend. Great to see as well. Big improvement coming out of Campos, but as you can see right now, sitting down P3 and P4. So a bit of work to do to try and catch the Volkswagens in the Super Cup class. BMWs are pushing hard. Robert Volk would love to be on the front row. Has he got there? Let's go and have a look and see how qualifying ended up. Robert Volk is on pole alongside Saud Variawa. Then it's Pretorius and Van der Walt, Msimanga, Van Rooyen and Schofield. And in Super Cup, Brad Liebenberg surprising the field, beating Jonathan Machotsi and Keegan Campos. Tate Bishop in 4th, Charles Visser, and look out for Jason Campos coming from 6th place to try and get into the front. Cars roll into the post-race paddock now with Robert Volk on pole position for Chemical Logistics and WCT in the BMW. And Brad Liebenberg has put it on pole in the Toyota for Sparco. Let's catch up with him.
It's a long time coming. Finally after Kailami again, we're back here. Let's hope I can finish some races today, and hopefully we can come out with the number 1. That will be very great. I mean, the team's worked so hard. We've all worked very hard for this, and it's coming together. So yeah, let's see what we could do in the race.
Remember, Tate Bishop and Julian Van der Walt took their first victories at Aldous Gramanti only a couple of weekends ago. It's now time to go racing at the East London Grand Prix circuit. We're on board with Michael Van Rooyen, high angle from the top of the windscreen, heading down towards the infamous Potter's Pass as we get underway with South African Touring Cars race number 1. Pretorius side by side with Van der Walt. It's Robert Volk who leads things out at this stage, or does he? Because around the outside comes Saud Variawa looking to try and get the whole shot into turn 1 around the outside of Potters. Not an easy thing to do, not on cold Dunlop tyres. But eventually when those tyres get up to pace, they will go through there absolutely flat. And it looks like they were pretty much flat through there, every single one of them. We go a little bit further back. Aerial material shot here of our Super Cup class heading down towards turn 1 as well. And Tate Bishop, good move there from him, but he gets outgunned by both Jason Campos and Keegan Campos. Jay had a phenomenal start, coming around the outside and finding a way through. And he slotted up into 4th place right on the tailpiece of his brother. And they are both looking for a way through there. Oh, big problems. That is a huge moment. That is Julian Van der Walt on his roof, and red flag had to be called, understandably. Must have been a massive moment here for Jules. Let's have a look at it going on board with him, going down into Cochabana. And as he exits, there's a little tag. I think it might have been one of the Toyotas who gave him a tag. He's now just a passenger in that OMP seat. And yeah, just shows you how well that seat works and the safety equipment in the car. Have a look at it from the outside here. On his outside, it's Michael Van Rooyen. And just trying to find a way through there. As you can see, there it is, the little tag, and he gets sent onto the tyre barrier. It's only a tip over, actually. He didn't roll badly. He just tipped the car over, but enough to do enough damage. This is Michael Van Rooyen's point of view. And there is the touch. And he tries to avoid Saud Variawa actually slowing down. And that ended in disaster. But let's get the restart now. It's Volk from Saud Variawa. Anthony Pretorius tucked in right behind that. Then Natim Samanga. How close do you want this restart? Here we go on board with Brad Liebenberg. He's got Machotsi on his outside. He's got Jason Campos. And coming from the outside again is Campos. It's Keegan on the inside though. Look at that. The turn 1 car into turn 1 around the outside of turn 1 as he did in the first part of this race. So brilliant stuff. He returns the favour and does exactly a carbon copy of that outbraking manoeuvre. We're on board with Keegan as they go. Ooh, into rifle and a touch between Machotsi and Brad. Brad Liebenberg's got the inside line. He's going to try and hang on to it in the Starlet and just forces Machotsi wide. The Genuine Parts Volkswagen Polo Super Cup GTI is now tucking in for second. We're on board here with the angry man. The angry racing man is Tate Bishop, and he is looking at Charles Visser, his fellow Capetonian, just ahead of him. He'd certainly like to be back ahead of him again and take another victory if he can. Back to the front end of touring cars as they go up towards Beacon. Saud Variawa ahead of Anthony Pretorius. Pretorius has got his teammate on his tail there of Natim Samanga. And I think Michael Van Rooyen's gone missing as well. That could possibly be a bit of damage there with the touch that happened between himself and Julian Van der Walt. I might get that car back out on track. We'll keep an eye on that as the Super Cup makes its way up to Beacon. And top 2 getting away ever so slightly there on Campos. We go on board here with Keegan. Let's see if he can close things down. Does he go for a push to pass? No, he hangs in there. Gives it everything he can as they go across the line, trying to close that gap down on Machotsi, just up the road from him. Machotsi's closing down on Brad Liebenberg. Let's have a look and see. Oh, it's flat through there from Keegan. That's brilliant. Absolutely everything she's got. Well, it's got a wing on the back. It's got some really good rubber on it, so it should be able to go through there pretty much flat. Here comes Machotsi, flat into rifle on the inside. Oh, and he gets it sideways. Brilliant stuff there from Jonathan Machotsi to get up on the inside of Brad Liebenberg. We look back from Brad's car now, and it's Keegan Campos closing down on him into Cochabana. This is going to be a brilliant finish to this one. They've only just started. They've got a whole bunch of laps still to do here at the East London Grand Prix circuit. And yet again, this track is proving to be one of the best to race on in the country. Pretorius has made his way up into second place. Where is Saud Variawa? Variawa's gone missing. It's Natyam Samanga up into third place. So Saud has gone missing a little bit further back there. And have a look at that. Just a massive amount of crowds there. And this is what it's all about. The East London crowd have come here in their masses to enjoy the race action being provided here by the Extreme Festival of Motorsport. Here we go, up into Beacon again with the Supercup class. Fists are closing things down now on Campos. Campos keeping him out. Tate Bishop has got ahead of Jason Campos, dropped him down to 6th place. So Campos' good start has now ended up with Tate Bishop just getting one step ahead of him. There's some lights on just ahead of him. Is that Charles Visser just playing around with him slightly there as they go towards Potters? But Machotsi's not playing. He's trying to get away from that Toyota Starlet, piloted by Brad Liebenberg. But he's under huge threat now. Here it comes. Campos on the inside. Can he return and look for a carbon copy of what happened there earlier on with Machotsi? Not this time out. He'll have to try a bit later. Back to Volk at the front end of touring cars. Look at the gap that Robert Volk has been able to pull out. He starts the penultimate lap with a huge advantage over Pretorius, and I don't think anybody's going to catch him. He might catch Michael van Rooyen. I think I just saw Michael van Rooyen back on track just ahead of Robert Volk coming across the line. Yes, that is definitely van Rooyen crossing the line. Maybe coming out there to play the game, because remember, with the reverse grid in the second heat, Michael van Rooyen could see himself up at least onto the front or second row of the grid. And that's the reason why he's back on track and circulating at the moment. Nicky Verstappen out of shape, out of Beacon. But fortunately, I think he'll get going again. He's not in any one of these guys' harm's way. This is the front end of Supercup again, onto the beat straight. And look at this. This is brilliant. Oh, here we go. Tate Bishop versus Visser. Cape Town versus Cape Town. He's on the inside line. Visser's going to have to look at giving him an opportunity to sneak through, and he's done that. So Visser loses out. They both went to push to pass. Tate went slightly later than what Visser did, so he got a little bit of extra power there, a little bit of drive down the beat straight, and the timing is crucial. Speaking of timing, looks like it might be checkered flag time. Now still one to go for the rest of the field, but the flag is going to be out for Robert Volk, and he's going to take the first victory here for the touring cars. Beating Anthony Pretorius to the line. A great effort there from him for Lee Thompson Racing and OMP, but here they come. The Super Cup class to the line. Machotsi's going to hang on. Machotsi could possibly take the lead of the championship here with this as well, as he comes to the line, beating out Brad Liebenberg and Keegan Campos, who we go back on board with here to finish up race number 1. Let's have a look at the official race 1 results now. Volk ahead of Pretorius, Schofield and Variawa. Machotsi beats out Brad Liebenberg for the Super Cup class, and Keegan Campos, he's ahead of Tate Bishop and Charles Visser. Further back in the pack, good little battles all the way through. Michael van Rooyen did get back on track though. That was a very important factor, and we'll see whether or not that's going to pay off for him in race number 2.
Yeah, I think the second restart was much better, but obviously, yeah, it's difficult to get yourself fired up again and get the momentum going. But the car was great. First lap, it was a little bit, struggled a little bit, but after that, the car came to me. The balance was great, and yeah, the weather's been perfect. So looking forward to the reverse grid in race 2.
Looks like that new helmet's working, Jonathan Machotsi, winning race number 1 for Super Cup.
The championship fight is on, I tell you. After all the points that was reinstated for Keegan, this was a very welcomed addition, I must say. East London has been freaking great. Race 1 has been freaking great, but you know, the war's not over. We still have one more race to go. Fortunately, I do start on pole for the next race, so let's see how it goes.
With the double win on the cards for Volk and Machotsi, let's see what happens after the break. On a very abrasive circuit, you can see some worn out Dunlop rubber there about to be put back into race control, because it's all going to be done one more time for race 2 of the South African Touring Cars and Super Cup. An incredible job done by WCT to get this car sorted out, and look how hard they're working to ensure that the GTI makes it back onto track. It'll be interesting to see whether they get enough time to put that car onto the grid, and Julian van der Walt back into the pilot's seat. Psyching himself up there is Saud Variawa. And Keegan Campos, I'm sure, would like to be at the top of the Supacup class. But he's got to fight out with Machotsi and Liebenberg. It looks like heartache. Oh, all the hard work being done to get Julian van der Walt back on track, and unfortunately it ended up with him finishing the race before it even started. Stuck at Rifle and then towed into the kart circuit. We're on board with Uncle Van Rooyen. Exactly what I said he might do. He's going to use the advantage of coming out late in the race after some problems early on. And look at this crowd. They stuck around right till the end of the day to enjoy the action from touring cars and Super Cup. And we're on board with Keegan as they go into the Super Cup. Lap 1, turn 1, and 4 cars into turn 1 usually end up in tears. Keegan backs out slightly. Brad just tucks in front of him. But it's Machotsi ahead of Visser. 1 and 2 formation flying for Volkswagen Motorsport as they head towards Rifle for the first time. You got the Campos boys just behind that. So it's Volkswagen Racing fighting with the lone Toyota Starlet of Brad Liebenberg at the front end with the 2 Camposes on his tail. This is the touring cars into the complex for the first time. It's Gazoo Racing 1, 2, and 3. It's pretty much exactly how they'd like it to be, but probably with the reverse order of that at this stage, with Saud Variawa having some problems big time in that first heat. Van Rooyen had a little bit of race damage after his tap with Van der Walt, but doesn't seem to be any problems on this car at this stage, as he goes very late onto the brakes into Beacon Corner and leads out over his 2 teammates. Tucked in behind that is Pretorius in the 4th Toyota. 2 BMWs just swapping positions there eventually, with Volk getting through on Schofield. And the Fly Sapphire car drops to the back of the pack for the touring cars. As they complete lap number 1, it's Toyotas 1, 2, 3, and 4, BMWs 5 and 6. Super Cup up towards Beacon, and already some pressure being put on there once again from Tate Bishop to squeeze in between the 2 Campos brothers. Behind that is Saud Variawa in the Toyota Starlet. They've done some serious work on that car to get it up to pace for race 2, and he's not too far behind Jason Campos, who showed some great pace in race number 1. Behind that, Nicky Vistanis, followed by the Franco brothers, and well, brothers, father and son I should say, as they head down in towards turn 1, and first time for them here at the circuit as well. Campos looking for a way through. Brad Liebenberg opens up the door. Will Campos have a go on the brakes? He's good on the brakes down into Copacabana. Can he squeeze the Toyota out? Only just. A little bit of room given there. But Campos now moves up ahead of the Toyota Starlet. And that Sparko car still in the rearview mirror there as they went onto the beat straight. So Brad Liebenberg now with some work to get back at Keegan Campos. Toyota's heading up the hill. It's Van Rooyen who leads that pack of Gazoo Racing machines. Second place looks like it's Natyam Samanga. Saud Variawa's dropped back. And it looks like there's some problems there for him. And it looks like it as well for Schofield. He's dropped slightly back on the pace there of Robert Wall. Kind of expect that though. But Saud Variawa has gone missing big time. And into the setting sun. This is flat out across the main straightaway down towards Potters. Oh, locking up into Beacon. That's the angry racing machine of Tate Bishop. Looking very angry. In fact, pretty vicious out there to try and find a way through on Brad Liebenberg in the first of the Starlets. So we're on board here with Tate as they head across the line and complete another lap in anger. Can he get into that slipstream, possibly use it on the Toyota? Remember, the Volkswagen Polo GTI Super Cup cars are slightly more aerodynamic than the slightly bigger and chunkier Toyota Starlets. But certainly Brad Liebenberg is not worried about that right now. He is just keeping it all together there in 4th place. Look at the resurgence though coming from Saud Variawa. Hats off to him. Best drive so far of the season so far in the second of those Toyota Starlets as they head down towards Copacabana. Under braking yet again, the angry car looks on the inside, but Liebenberg sees him coming, shuts the door. Those two have been fighting in karts for a long time, so they'll know the antics and tactics that they can pull on each other. Speaking of antics and tactics, look at the maneuver being put on here in the closing stages from Natyam Samanga, trying to get through on his teammate. Michael Van Rooyen's over the windscreen shot here. He has a great view of what is now 4 sunset corners at the East London Grand Prix circuit. Visibility becomes a big factor in the late stages, but no worries at all because you can definitely see that checkered flag, and that's exactly what Michael Van Rooyen wanted. Birthday present to his baby girl there, and takes the victory. Well done to Michael Van Rooyen, beating out his teammate Natyam Samanga. It's Volkswagen formation flying. Is it Campos formation flying just behind that, or has Keegan Campos, he's hanging on for 3rd, but has Jason been able to get back ahead of Tate? I don't think he has. Keegan's going to hang on for 3rd place here. It's going to be a 1-2 for the Volkswagen team as they come to the line. And yes, it is a double for Machotsi. It's not quite the double that Robert Volk wanted, but Machotsi is going to hang on, and the checkered flag's already waving as they come out of Beacon Corner. Machotsi wins out over Charles Visser. And a great effort once again from Keegan Campos for 3rd there in the Campos transport car. Across the line comes Tate Bishop. He's tucked in behind that, and he beats out the Toyota Starlet of Brad Liebenberg. Further back, some great little fights as well. In amongst the back of the pack, Dean Fenter and Cara Hill having a fantastic little fight. And just behind that, winning out the Masters category, Roberto Franco for Team Red Racing and GSW. Let's get those official results now. For race 2, Van Rooyen wins out over Msimanga. Pretorius and Volk ahead of Schofield. Mahotsi wins out the Supacup ahead of Visser, Campos, Bishop and Liebenberg in the Supacup Toyota Starlet. He beats out Bostanis. Jason Campos drops down just ahead of Saad Variawa. And Cara Hill wins out the battle, as we saw there, with Fenter. Franco taking the Masters. And the winner of touring cars, Marco Van Rooyen.
Bit of a frustrating weekend this weekend. We had a bit on the back foot since yesterday. Unfortunate about the incident with Julian in race 1, but the team did a great job to let me finish race 1 and give me a good call for race 2. So I'm very thankful for that. And yeah, nice to get a win for race 2.
Funny enough, this is the last time I got a double, actually, in Polo Cup 2018. So it's been a long time coming, but yeah, absolutely stoked with the result for the team. My teammate did an absolutely phenomenal job. And yeah, look, we absolutely needed this after the carnage that occurred in PE, so we'll take it.
All the action provided by the East London Grand Prix circuit at the Extreme Festival of National Motorsport, round 5. Be sure to join us for the penultimate round of the Extreme Festival in the Mother City at Killarney International Raceway on the 21st of September. All this Extreme Festival action is proudly brought to you by Astron Energy, Volkswagen Motorsport, Dunlop Tires, and InvestChem Chemical Logistics.